WWE Night of Champions is this Saturday afternoon, and I gotta say, for the most part, I'm looking forward to this show. There's some matches that I really don't care about. There's some matches that I do care about, but I'm also not invested in the story at the same time. And then there's some matches that I'm really looking forward to. Overall, I think it's going to be a great show from top to bottom. Pay-per-view live event, or premium live events, whatever the hell they're called, are usually delivering these days. I don't remember the last time, even like, I know some people didn't like WrestleMania Sunday all that much compared to WrestleMania Saturday, but that was still a great show. I don't remember the last time I didn't enjoy a premium live event. Maybe, I don't even want to say Money in the Bank last year, because I really don't remember that much. Like, we haven't gotten a premium live event in a long time that I think I left unsatisfied. So I'm looking forward to Night of Champions. It's going to be a good show. Let's get into these predictions. Real quick though, guys, I gotta remind you to hit the join button down below. We got channel memberships right here on the No Nation Wrestling YouTube channel where you guys get exclusive videos each and every week. You're not gonna want to miss out. Hit that join button down below. But let's kick off our Night of Champions predictions with the Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther defending against Mustafa Ali. I am very much looking forward to this match. I really hope it gets a decent amount of time. Like, we're going to talk about the two women's titles matches, but honestly, like, I don't really care for those two matches all that much. So I'm hoping they don't go too long, especially the Rhea Ripley Natalya match. Hopefully Gunther and Mustafa Ali gets at least a solid 10 minutes to go out there and tear the house down, because this is hopefully going to be a kickstart to Mustafa Ali getting more opportunities like this. I would love to see Ali be the Intercontinental Champion one day, or be the United States Champion. I think it's long overdue. He's certainly talented enough and has the character and the charisma and all that other stuff that people want to point out about, oh, well, he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't have this. Mustafa Ali has all of it. He's one of those guys that I think is just great all around. So I'm really happy he's in this position. As for the result of this matchup, I see Gunther retaining. If there's a shot in hell that Mustafa Ali defeats Gunther, then I think that Stratus, what's the word I'm looking for, straps the rocket to Gunther and sends him right to Money in the Bank to win the briefcase, and then on to the World Heavyweight Championship scene it will be for the ring general of Imperium. But I don't think this is going to happen. If it does, that'll be a huge shock, and I'll be all for it. Mustafa Ali defeating Gunther, winning the Intercontinental Championship. That would be sick. I don't really see it happening, though. I'm going to have to pick Gunther to retain the Intercontinental Championship here, and I'm fine either way. The match is going to be great. That's really all I hope for. Gunther versus Ali. I'm going Gunther to retain the Intercontinental Gold. We have the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Natalya, and like, no disrespect, but I don't give two damns about this match. And a big part of that is the fact that it seemed like WWE didn't give two damns about this match. Did we get any build? Was Natalya even on TV? Unless I'm forgetting the last 2 weeks. All I remember is her coming down to save, what was it, Dana Brooke, the Raw after Backlash that set up this match. And then has she even been on TV? Like, am I just forgetting because this feud's just been that irrelevant over the last 3 weeks? I don't know, but it's just, I know people make the joke about it on Twitter, but it is true. I guess it's just time for Natalya to get her yearly championship match. And I mean no disrespect, but like, there's really not much Natalya that, like, I'm really looking for, like, not many matches, I should say, that I'm really looking forward to, like, oh, that's going to be a good one for Natalya. Maybe it will be a good match. I'm not trying to knock her in any sense of the word, but, like, I'm just not interested. Like, Natalya is just not doing it for me, and especially since WWE didn't put any effort into building this matchup for the last 3 weeks, then that's certainly not going to help. So Rhea Ripley, clear-cut, going to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship here. I wish she was at least in there with somebody who could maybe be a viable threat to defeat Rhea Ripley, even though I don't see her losing that title anytime soon. I think she's just going to mow over Natalya. They didn't care about this feud. I don't care about it. Rhea Ripley to win. Let's move on. We then have the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair defending against Asuka. Now, here's the thing with this match. If Asuka's not going to win, why did we book this WrestleMania rematch just for Asuka to lose again? Because that would just be pointless, honestly. And it's really a testament to how they really didn't do the SmackDown Women's Division any favors in the latest WWE draft. I mean, literally, they put Bianca Belair at the top with Asuka, who she's already beaten, Bayley, who she's already beaten, and those are kind of your top women on the brand. Yes, there's other women on the brand, but they really didn't give them much of the division to work with. So now we're getting Asuka versus Bianca Belair again, which the match was, you know, I really liked the match at WrestleMania. It wasn't Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, but it was still a good match, and I was disappointed that Asuka lost. I thought that she should have, you know, that she should have dethroned Bianca Belair, if I can get it out. But she didn't, and like at the end of the day, it is what it is. And then we hadn't seen Asuka since then, and then she came back to kick off this feud, just spit mist in Bianca Belair's face, and that's all we've gotten, just Asuka spit and mist. It's the same lackluster build that their match for WrestleMania had, which I really don't understand. Asuka seemingly turned heel in the lead up to this Night of Champions match, which she should have just did in the lead up to WrestleMania, which then should have led to her defeating Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and then we could have had the rematch at a Backlash or this at Night of Champions. But now we're just getting Asuka just coming back for the first time, spitting mist in Bianca Belair's face, and she gets rewarded another matchup. And as much as I would like to see Asuka win the championship, like, I really don't see it happening. I have nothing against Bianca Belair continuing to hold the gold. I mean, her match with Io Sky, great. Her match with Asuka was good. Like, Bianca Belair is a considerably, like, consistent performer. She's always doing great stuff, so I'm not knocking Bianca. I like her as the champion and all, but, like, I would have, if Asuka was gonna beat her, is what I think is what I'm trying to say, I would have had her do it already. I cannot talk today. But regardless of that, I just don't see why this match is happening. And if Asuka's not gonna win, and I don't think she's gonna, then what a waste. At the end of the day, Bianca to defeat Asuka and retain the Raw Women's Championship. And like I said, I know that just kind of disregards what I said about if Asuka's not gonna win this, what a waste, but I just don't see her winning it at this point. Like, if they were gonna do it, probably would have did it at WrestleMania. This really just feels like a match just for Bianca to be on the show and retain the title. And that's all it is to me. So Bianca to retain over Asuka the Raw Women's Championship. I feel like I'm really being hard on the women's division here, but now let's talk about Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, which, my God, I hate this feud so much, man. Like, the contract signing was okay on Monday Night Raw. They left it on a high note. It was a nice dig by Becky at the end, you know, oh, welcome to the big time, bitch, woof woof, and then the table flipped. Like, it was a nice little segment and all, but just, I cannot stand this feud, man. Trish, I love Trish, you know, ruthless aggression for me, error. I know she was Attitude Era as well. But, like, everything she does is just cringeworthy, man. Like, I don't believe a word she's saying in a promo. It's just not coming across like... It comes across like she's just being presented lines, and the people that presented her with the lines don't give a damn either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't care about this feud. I try to give Becky Lynch, like, the benefit of doubt, but... and I've said it before in the channel, and I like Becky, but, like... Also, a very cringeworthy promo, and when this all has been built up on promos, it just really doesn't help the situation. And going back to when Trish originally turned on Becky, it was one of the worst heel turns I've ever seen. Trish, like, barely tapped Becky Lynch on the back and laid her out that one night, and I don't know, man. This feud sucks. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to rain on the women's division parade here, but it's not their fault. It's WWE's fault. The WWE has put very little care into the women's division. Honestly, all throughout this year so far, like, it's seen glimmers of hope here and there. Rhea and Charlotte tearing it down at WrestleMania. Like, there's been some good stuff. Women's Rumble, I thought, was good this year, but it's just not enough. And, like, they're just putting together matches for the championships that really don't mean anything. And then this Becky and Trish feud really is not what I would have hoped it for. I thought it could have been better on paper, but it just really hasn't been presented in the best way. And maybe they just haven't delivered in the best way. I don't know who to blame. WWE and creative is definitely partial to blame for the overall women's division, because they just don't care. And if they don't care, then why should we care? But this Becky and Trish feud, man, like, I'm sorry, I don't believe a word coming out of these women's mouth. And I'm usually not that guy to pick apart promos and this, that, and the other, but it's just like cringeworthy television half the time. I don't give two damns about this match. I hope it's not that long. I hope Gunther and Mustafa Ali gets all the time for these couple of women's division matches, man, because these just, they're not doing it for me. But at the end of the day, this is here for the predictions. Becky versus who the hell is Trish Stratus. Honestly, I'm going to pick Trish Stratus. I think this feud might continue, possibly all the way till SummerSlam. I don't want to see it continue all the way till SummerSlam, but that was originally what was rumored, is we were going to get Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam, and now we're getting it early at Night of Champions. But I think they're still going to make the way there to SummerSlam to have that big blow-off match, if you will. So I think Trish wins here, and then we'll see what happens leading up all throughout June and July, and then when we get to SummerSlam in the beginning of August. But as for Night of Champions, I'm going to go Trish Stratus. I'd honestly like Becky Lynch to win, and then we just move on from this feud, but I don't see that's going to happen. I think Trish is going to win, and then we're going to get the next 2 months of more Trish and Becky. All remains to be seen. I don't know. Maybe we'll get like a badass just steel cage match where they beat the shit out of each other at SummerSlam, and it'll be a great ending. All remains to be seen. I don't know, but I'm going to go Trish to defeat Becky Lynch. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. Now, in the beginning, when I was doing the intro, this is the match where, like, the match itself I care about. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing the match, but the storyline is just, there's just something missing, and it's the obvious thing that's missing. I don't need to fill you guys in. It's the same thing I talked about in my Backlash prediction video. We still don't have an answer. as to why Brock Lesnar is targeting Cody Rhodes. We can personally say, oh, well, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. We can speculate all we want, but WWE is in charge of giving us that information, and they have not given us that information. I thought after Backlash, we would finally get a reason. All right, they got through the first match, whatever. It was the fight, you know, and this, that, and the other. But now Brock's really going to be like, all right, I lost. Here's why I keep coming after you. We're doing this again, yada, yada, yada. And we just haven't gotten that. It's been 3 weeks. And listen, the segments themselves of what they've been doing between Brock and Cody have been good, have been great. The beatdown, the Raw after Backlash when the World Championship tournament kicked off, I thought was great. Or was it the week out? Whatever it was, when Brock was all busted up and put Cody through an announce table, it was great. This past Monday Night Raw, the whole Brock using the keg on Cody's arm, I thought was great. Regardless of all that, though, the segments themselves have been fine, but the story is what matters, and there's no story here other than the fact that Brock just wants to kill Cody Rhodes for some reason, and I don't like that aspect, man. I've been trying to look over, I've been trying to look past it. I really liked, you know, I thought their Backlash match was good. This has the potential to be better, and then I think we're gonna get a third match at SummerSlam. You know, I made a whole fantasy booking video for Cody versus Brock. I thought this match should have had a stipulation on it, and then once again up the ante at SummerSlam. And if they do it for a third time in Detroit at Ford Field, then I'm sure we'll get a stipulation. I threw out a fight pit, last man standing, Texas bull rope match. There's a million things they could do, right? But as for Night of Champions, it's just going to be Brock versus Cody one-on-one. Cody looks like he's going in with one arm because of what happened on Monday Night Raw, and we'll see what happens. I think for my prediction of this matchup, it's gonna be either Brock Lesnar wins, or, well, here's what it's going to be. I think it's Cody's either going to sneak by with a victory, or it's going to be Brock by a referee stoppage, which is actually was one of the things I threw out in my fantasy booking video, was Brock wins this second match, but not just pinning Cody flat out. I think they might have did the arm injury on Monday Night Raw to play into this matchup where Brock's going to target the arm. He's going to beat up Cody so bad that Cody can't continue, and the referee throws up the X. Cody can't continue. Brock Lesnar's the winner by referee decision. That's what I think is going to happen, honestly, so Cody doesn't have to take a clean loss, if you will. Brock can win, and they can advance this story forward to SummerSlam or Money in the Bank, even whenever they want to do the third installment of this feud, because I think we are going to get there. And hopefully, when we start building to the third matchup in this feud, hopefully we can finally get an explanation. A Brock versus Cody, let's talk in the ring. What has this whole been about? It should have happened already. I'm right there. I have already stated it. But hopefully we can get that. And if the third match comes and we still don't know why we've had this feud going on the last few months, that's completely ridiculous. It takes one segment on Raw to add some story to this. All Brock has to say is, I can't face Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship. You were the guy. You were the chosen one to beat Roman Reigns, and you failed. I'm pissed at you because you failed to beat Roman Reigns. Now I'm targeting you. Or something like that. And to be perfectly honest, it would have just made more sense if Cody Rhodes won the WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania, and then they were feuding over the title. At least then the story would have an explanation. It's just Brock versus Cody for the championship. But we still don't have a champion, or so we just still don't have a story for Brock versus Cody, and now we're going into the second match. I don't know, make it make sense, but in the end, my prediction will be Brock Lesnar winning, plus a little added note, by a referee stoppage. I don't see him beating Cody Rhodes 100% clean, although they very well may do that, and that's why they did the injury angle on Raw. So when you look back at the record books, if you will, and Brock defeated Cody Rhodes, it's kind of got an asterisk next to it because Cody was going in a one-armed man. All remains to be seen. How they go about it remains to be seen, but Brock Lesnar, I'm going to say, is my final prediction for this match in Night of Champions. We have your undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending against Solo Sikoa and the undisputed Universal Champion, the man who will be hitting 1,000 days the night of this matchup, Roman Reigns. You know, it is funny, you know, 1,000 days, so important for Roman Reigns, right? So important for WWE to hit that 1,000 day mark. And on the 1,000 day mark, he's not even defending the championship. And he's in a tag team title match. Makes me think even more that Cody should have just won at WrestleMania. And I think I might even make a video about this come next week. We'll see how this weekend goes and how the stories are and this, that, and the other. But I feel like I got to get some thoughts off my chest regarding WrestleMania, Cody, Roman, and all this stuff. Because we have been talking about it a lot on the channel anyway. But nonetheless, when we get to Night of Champions on Saturday afternoon, who is going to be leaving Saudi Tag Team Champions? It needs to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Listen, as I've been saying in my videos, it's Roman Reigns. So even though if you really don't think Roman and Solo Sikoa are going going to be tag team champions, it's Roman Reigns. So you can never just count him out. And I don't mean it in like the storyline sense of, oh, never count out the head of the table, but like WWE loves them, some Roman Reigns. And I like Roman Reigns too, you know, acknowledge the tribal chief. I'm all there for it. But it's Roman Reigns. So is it a clear cut Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are just going to win and that's that? No. Do I think they're going to win? Yes. And I think it's going to be by some kind of scrutiny with the Usos, either purposely or possibly even accidentally costing Solo and Roman the matchup. Solo Sikoa can take the pinfall and Roman Reigns loses that way. And I don't think it's a knock against Roman Reigns losing a match because Sami Zayn got pinned in that tag team matchup against John Cena and Kevin Owens, and that's technically a loss for Roman Reigns, but Sami got pinned on that night. What was it, the New Year's Eve or December 30th, whatever it was, Friday Night SmackDown. So it'd be the same situation here, just Solo Sikoa takes the pin instead of Roman. And that's absolutely what I think is going to happen. Like I said, whether it's on accident or purpose, I think the Usos are going to get involved, cost Solo and Roman the matchup. I think it will lead to hopefully a non-title tag team match between Roman and Solo versus the Usos, whether they do it at Money in the Bank, whether they save it for SummerSlam, all remains to be seen. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn haven't even gotten their feet wet with this tag team championship reign thus far because they've still been dealing with the Usos. They've still been dealing with the Bloodline. And there is a great tag team division, which I talked about in a channel member exclusive video. Hit the join button down below. I don't know why I'm pointing up here. Hit the join button down below so you guys can watch that video. But there's a whole awesome tag team division that they can really dive deep into, there we go, for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to defend the gold against. I don't want to see them lose the titles this soon after winning them at WrestleMania. There's so much more story for them to tell without the Bloodline involved. So hopefully Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that will be my prediction for them to retain the championships on Saturday afternoon, and we'll see what happens with the Bloodline. Hopefully after this matchup, KO and Sami can finally go do their own thing, and the Bloodline can go do theirs, and we can finally get all these guys going their separate ways finally after Night of Champions. But my prediction, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to retain the Undisputed Tag Team titles. And last up to discuss the World Heavyweight Championship Tournament Finals, AJ Styles versus Seth freaking Rollins. We have talked a lot about the World Heavyweight Championship and who's going to win at Night of Champions in recent videos here on the channel. If you guys want to see some of those other discussions, go click the channel down below, go watch some of the recent videos. We have some awesome discussions. However, when it comes to my final prediction, could I see AJ Styles winning this matchup? I very well could. However, do I think he's going to win? No, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. And I think that's the right choice. Listen, if AJ wins, you ain't going to hear complaining out of me. They want to put the world title on AJ, I'm all for it. AJ jumps to Raw or works both shows, whatever they want to do for now, then remains to be seen. You know, I speculated maybe Seth's going to be out a month or 6 weeks or a couple of weeks, whatever it may be, if he's filming this Captain America movie. But hell, maybe he's already done. He wasn't at Raw the last 2 weeks. They just did those backstage interviews with Corey Graves. Maybe Rollins is already done filming and he's going to be back on the road. Regardless of all that outside of WWE stuff, though, for Seth Rollins, when it comes down to it, I just think Seth is the rightful guy to be the first world champion of this new championship. And by the way, we have been speculating here and there as to whether this title was going to continue the lineage of the old world championship. There's a rumor online saying that it will, or remains to be seen. I hope so, because that's why wouldn't you acknowledge the original lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship? But regardless, when it comes to this new belt on Saturday afternoon, Seth Rollins needs to be leaving Night of Champions as World Heavyweight Champion. And then hopefully, after Saudi and heading into Money in the Bank, I really want Drew McIntyre involved in this world title, man. And whether it's McIntyre winning Money in the Bank or McIntyre returning and going right after Seth Rollins, whatever it may be, Seth versus McIntyre needs to be the feud of the summer or the feud of the fall for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Seth having a badass reign as champ and then dropping it to McIntyre, and then where we go leading to the end of this year and WrestleMania 40, all remains to be seen. Winding it back down to just a Night of Champions, could I see AJ Styles winning it? Quite possibly, yes, but my final prediction, Seth Rollins to leave Night of Champions the new World Heavyweight Champion. And guys, stay tuned to the channel because tomorrow we will be doing our predictions for AEW Double or Nothing, which will be on Sunday night. We've got a big weekend of wrestling. Not only do we got Night of Champions on Saturday afternoon, we got Double or Nothing on Sunday. There's also the NXT show, which is Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, something like that. I think New Japan's got a show this weekend. I want to say some, but one other I think Impact's got a show on Friday. There's a lot of pay-per-views and premium live events going on this weekend. It's going to be great great time for a wrestling fan. But as for you guys and me, Double or Nothing predictions Friday, stay tuned. And of course, we'll be here Saturday night, Sunday night, giving you guys my thoughts and review for both Night of Champions and Double or Nothing, so stay tuned for all of that. Leave your predictions for Night of Champions down below in the comments. Overall, guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at NoNationVlogs, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.